Well, okay. Every journey has a final leg. Every journey has a destination, and every journey must come to an end. So we're nearing the end on this one, but we're not quite done. We have to surf the internet from this TI-99 4A. So before we do that, let's take a look at how far we've come. Let's take a look at what we've done in this video series. I hope that if you've been watching, I hope you've noticed that as we've gone through this, I've been adding and kind of expanding what I do with the videos and trying to do more things and do a better presentation and replacing the green screen here and there and just trying to bring the channel to life, because when I started this journey, I didn't necessarily know how to do any of these videos. I was just recording things and putting stuff together. And so I hope that you have an appreciation now for maybe some of the things that it takes to do YouTube videos, because if you can embrace the technology, embracing the ability to create content is pretty important as well. And so again, it's one of the things that we should be doing. We should always find ways to get better. We should always find things we can do to expand our horizons. And so this journey hasn't just been about the TI-99 4A. It's been just as much about creating YouTube videos as anything else. I'd also like to acknowledge the enormous shoulders that I've been standing on and doing some of this stuff, because there has been a lot of thought and a lot of work put into making these videos possible. The TI-99 4A, the vast hobbyist community out there, and all the people that have a passion for just old computers and retro computing in general. So thank you for all those people that are out there continuing to remind us of where we came from, so that we might never forget and maybe wind up going someplace that is better than what we had intended to go. It also strikes me that in these videos, you never know when you do a creative endeavor. You never really know what the solution is going to be. I was talking to a friend of mine recently and was telling them that what you do is you sit down and you record things until you think have enough, and then you have to sit down and start kind of trying to splice and edit stuff together and see what you have. Sometimes you have enough content to generate a video, and sometimes you don't. So this is always a creative process is always somewhat open-ended. So there will probably be some follow-on videos to this 11-part series. So it'll be, part 12 of the 11-part series, part 13 of the 11-part series, but continuing to find new and interesting things to talk about and hopefully encourage you, dear viewer. And on the line of encouragement, I would certainly hope that that in these videos you saw that I am no expert necessarily, and I certainly am not a rocket scientist. I'm just a normal person that kind of likes computers. And so in some of these videos, I tried to portray my stumbling around. I do that anyway, right? But I didn't edit any of that stuff out, not because I wanted you to be bored as I was fumbling around with a keyboard or making a mistake buying the wrong cable. I wanted you to see that there's nothing wrong with making a mistake, because the only thing that's really a problem is when you make the same mistake over and over again. So you make a mistake, you go to the magical place called the internet, and you're usually able to find a solution and can continue to move forward as long as you let the solution be creative and rather than trying to come up with something too rigid. So a little bit of encouragement from this chair. I'd like to see more of you engaging. I want to make you, my viewers, more aggressive consumers of technology. You don't have to be a computer scientist. You don't have to be a cutting edge technologist in order to work with these things. You just have to be curious. So shout out to my good friend at WagnersTechTalk.com. He's been a great source of inspiration and help to me over these 11 videos. So thank you, WagnersTechTalk.com. Also, StuartConnor.me.uk, another source of solutions when I was stumbling, and especially a great contributor to this final video. I used his browser to make things work. As a matter of fact, I found on the Final Grom cartridge that I got from Arcade Shopper, another great place, along with Core i64, don't forget them. I found on Arcade Shopper the Final Grom with a preloaded SD card that had all of the material on it, and I found a browser on there, but it didn't work. It didn't seem to work. stuartconner.me.uk was where I went to find the solution. Of course, don't forget a shout out to the TI-99-4A forum on AtariAge.com. A lot of great people there. Would not have been able to pull this off without their help. Shout out to Jedi Matt 42 and his GitHub page. Great information there. Also, thebrewingacademy.com. Definitely want to check that place out. Another good resource for TI-99-4A information, tools, and just general fun. I'm sure I am leaving off some people, but that's a good place to start. I will put some more in the descriptions on this video. For now, let's get to the important work of surfing the internet from this TI-99-4A. Okay, to accomplish this next part, you will need to have your TI-99-4A up and running, along with the Tippy up and running and connected to your Wi-Fi, because you are going to need to go get this file, download it, and upload it using the Tippy interface we had talked about in the previous video. So we're going to go to stuartconner.me.uk, this awesome webpage here, clearly created in front page 95 or something equivalent, but getting the job done, certainly. So the link that we're interested in here is the Internet Web Browser, and that's going to take you to a place on the page that's lower, of course. And this explains what's going on with this web browser. So you can imagine that the browser that these hobbyists have created has limitations on what you can load. You're not going to be able to load an HTML5 web page on this through this browser. That's just, it can't handle it. It can't handle it much size at all. So if you're looking through this list of requirements, like this one right here, maximum size of web page is 13,024 bytes, so 13K on a web page. I don't know what the average size of a web page on the internet is, but it's a little bit larger than that. So, and of course, rendering images and stuff like that there's a lot of problems with it. So as you read through here, yeah, we're limited in what we can do. So what we'll do is we'll install this browser, and then we'll pull up pages on the TI-99-4A, and then we'll pull them up with a regular web browser and see what they look like with just from Google Chrome or something like that. Okay, so the next how-to part of it is from down here. We want the Tippy version. The program is on a TI disk format image, which can be downloaded here. So you download the image, bring that up, open it, copy, and save that to some place that you can get to later that isn't too messy. So let's just put it on the desktop. And now we're going to go to our Tippy file interface. That is, if you remember, TI:9900/files. And there we are. What you do at this point is you upload the file you need. Oh, wait, before we do that, let's do this. I'm going to delete this. You'll see why in a minute. Submit. Okay, so it's gone, right? Now we're going to upload. Choose the file. We dropped it onto our desktop. There is our file. Open up and upload. Now watch the screen there. You'll see a browser folder appear, because automatically it takes that file and it will automatically expand it so that there is now a browser folder. and in that browser is an internet, DIS/FX. And that's actually what winds up running when you run the browser. So the next step is actually running the browser. Okay, now we are going to load up and run that browser, see if we can get some web pages. So you hit any key to begin, you hit 2 for final ground 99, because we have to go to the A for the dev folder, and you want to run option E, editor/assembler. Want to run 3 for load and run. Now we need to put in the file name. Now, if you remember, it's called Tippy, right? When we log into it, we log into Tippy. It's Tippy at Tippy. So the component is Tippy. That's where we put this program, this browser. You'll also recall that when we uploaded it, it created a browser folder. And if we went into that browser folder, there was something called internet. So the file name we're going to run is tippy.browser.internet. And I have to do this with my other hand, so be patient. There it is. I knew I'd mess it up. I knew I'd mess something up. Internet. See what it loads. Tippy.browser.internet. And bingo, there you go. That is the actual Stewart's TI-99/4A internet browser. Good job, Stuart Connor. So, like I said, we have a limitation on the size of these pages that we can actually load here, but there are some out there that were specifically created that we can get to. So let's see what those wind up looking like. But first, why don't we try going to google.com? Let's keep an eye on it and see what happens. Getting a response from Tippy. Page buffer overflowed. Press any key. And you got the stuff there at the top. Looks kind of messed up. Okay, so the Google page, which anybody knows is usually just a box with an image on it, that's too large to load. So I'm going to hit any key there. Okay, we're going to try to load a different page. So in this case, I know we can load Wagner's Tech Talk.com /TI99/Z.htm. Let's see what that brings up. Now, believe it or not, you can actually plug in a mouse, and you can use a mouse with this TI. There's a cursor on the page there, and you might see that moving around there because I'm using the arrow keys to move it around. But you can plug, it's all set up, you can plug a mouse into the Tippy, and you can control that cursor via mouse. We didn't in this case. Okay, so this is what it looks like. This is what this web page looks like. Now, what does that look like on the regular internet? Well, there you go. That's what it winds up looking like on a modern browser. You'll notice that blue border that was around the top there turns into a weird capital A with a caret on top of it for some reason. But definitely different, right? So the browser is set up to render a certain number of tags and pages that have limitations on them. So let's go look and see what other kind of pages are available from the TI-99/4A. Now back in retro land here, let's look at what TI Products has to say. So we get on that link and hit enter. Okay. Believe it or not, there have been a lot of new TI products. There's Dragon's Lair. Awesome game for the TI. I don't know how many of you played Dragons there. I spent some quarters on that game, boy. Okay, pretty cool. Pretty cool. My cursor doesn't seem to want to move. Okay, go back to the original page here. Let's look at what... For some reason, I can't seem to go to the right. See what else I can get to here. Having some trouble. I wonder what's going on with the cursor. It doesn't seem to want to move around, especially not back to the right. Okay, not a problem. I'll just have to reload. Oh, the F key. The F key is the one that moves it back. You know, there's a set of arrow keys on the TI-99/4A that are function accessible, and the D has the right arrow, but the F key right next to it is actually the key that moves the cursor to the right. Okay, so learn something new every day, huh? So let's see what happens under the TI-99/4A links. Hit the Enter key. Use this browser, myti99.com, for chess, group chat, and more. It's a graphics demo. Let's try TI logo, see what that is. That's taking us to Stuart Connor, apparently. stuartconnor.me.uk. Another one of our good friends, without whom we could not have accomplished this. Click here for the pin out of the TMS 9900. Very cool. Short history of the TI-99/4A. Got to take a look at that. The multicolors there from Stuart Connor. Very nice. It's getting response from Tippy. This must be a large page. It must be pushing that memory limit. Okay, very cool. Yep. Click here to go back. Indeed. Okay, so let's see what other web pages we might stumble on that could be accessed by this. Just hunting and pecking. So I was on Google and I found on interestingengineering.com a list of old websites, and of course that starts with the famous symbolics.com, which was apparently one of the first, if not the first, .com domain name to be registered back in 1985. So let's see if that one is available. So, having trouble. Symbolics.com. Okay. Move temporarily. Interesting. So that's clearly the header. Doc type HTML. So part of it loaded. That's kind of interesting. Let's see if we can get to Interrupt Tech Corp. That's itcorp.com. And no, doesn't seem to like that one too much. The next one we should try, I believe, was Texas Internet Consulting. That's TIC.com. Back when you could still get a 3-letter domain name. So let's try out TIC.com here. TIC.com. Didn't like that one very much. Let's go back to Stuart Connor. You know that one works. Absolutely must try Toad.com. Toad.com. Can't connect to host name. Sure I didn't spell it. Doesn't like Toad.com, dag. Come to think of it, let's try it with the www on it. Sometimes people don't set that up correctly. Looks like it's thinking about it. It says opening socket on Tippy device. Not looking. Oh, there it is. Can't connect to host name. Didn't like that. Okay, so what else did we try? So how about text-based websites? So if you go to Google and you put in a search for text-based websites, what comes up? Well, there are some things. So let's see let's see if any of this stuff's valid. So how about WTTR.in? WTTR.in. It's supposed to be a weather site. Okay. It rendered. Definitely rendered. Error, no valid markup on page. So something happened there. Trying light.cnn.com. Supposed to be a text-based news site. Doesn't like light.cnn.com. Well, there you go. I think it's safe to say that Google Chrome has a pretty good stranglehold on the browser market. I don't, as cool as Stuart's browser is, I don't think it's going to replace Google Chrome anytime soon. That's not knocking Stuart's browser. That's just saying that Google's got some pretty smart people working for them. But who knows what tomorrow will bring. In the future, the promising future where people are more interested in reading things than watching things. But definitely an interesting trip through the TI-99 4A and the people around it, the people that still continue to gather around this machine and try to do things with it. I resonate with that. This idea that I've got this thing now, what can I do with it? And I hope that we never lose that curiosity. Like I had mentioned before, that nothing about these videos and what I was doing here was perfect. I had some stumbles and some problems that I ran into and stuff I didn't necessarily know the answer to. But you look around, you keep trying to find ways to get better. You keep trying to find ways to solve your solutions, and eventually you wind up with something that is it's an accomplishment, something that very few other people have done. I've got a good friend of mine who talks about being in the center of a particular Venn diagram, like the only person in the world that has worn a centaur costume and climbed Mount Kilimanjaro and stuck Jell-O down their pants. I'm the only person in the world that's done those three things, right? So you have the dubious accomplishments there, especially the part about climbing Kilimanjaro. But, the point is that you find ways to be unique because the world needs more unique people. So somebody had to ask the question. They had to look at that and say, well, what do I do with it? And when I reclaimed this TI-99 4A from my parents' house, that was a question I I knew I'd do something with it. I just didn't know what at the time. So it was in my closet for a bit. And one day I decided, well, I wonder what I could do with that. Went to the internet, found out that a lot of people had asked the same questions. So I'm with some pretty good company and some pretty fine people, creative people that I'm part of that community. I will be probably adding on to this. I'll probably be adding a part 12 to the 11-part series, part 13 to the 11-part series. So, dear viewer, what's next for you? I hope that this journey through the TI-99/4A and also through my learning how to do YouTube videos, how to create content, how to create a series of videos and put them on the internet and endure the scorn and derision of the masses. And of course, every once in a while, the kudos and the thank yous. So anyway, if you like the video, please like it. If you would share it, that'd be awesome, because this is life, if I recall correctly.